Hey Maddie, we're gonna be leaving for the movies in 5 minutes, so do whatever you gotta do or something. Well, I am super pumped for Candyman, the popcorn, the drinks, the candy itself. But before I go, I gotta make myself look super hot. So let's head to the bathroom. So when I go to the bathroom, I gotta make sure that I brush my beard, get a little bit of a spray on me. So we're gonna do a little spray. Yeah. And then we're gonna do a little beard. Oh, I dropped but that's okay. That's okay. I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Hey, Maddie. You coming by any chance? She'll be here. She'll be here. Let's try the Candyman thing. Candyman. Candyman. Sounds pretty good. Candyman. 2 more times. Candyman. Oh boy. Candyman. See? Nothing happens because the Candyman's not even... What's going on, film fans? This is Let's Be Real with Brad. Today on the channel, I want to talk about the brand new supernatural slasher film called Candyman. Candyman is a spiritual sequel to the classic 1992 horror film of the same name. The film is directed by Nia DaCosta and it stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Teyonah Parris, Nathan Stewart Jarrett, and Colman Domingo. To prepare my viewing experience for this film, I ended up rewatching the original Candyman film and watched the sequels for the very first time because I feel like I had to get into the mood for Candyman and understand every single aspect I could about it. So I really do love the original Candyman film. It is clearly a classic and I love it to this day, but the sequels are quite horrible, with the third one even being a direct-to-video film. So glad that I watched those, because now watching this film, this is clearly better than the second and third one, and I would even go to say that this is the best Candyman film to date. The entire time watching this movie, I really did feel like this is the best version of the film so far because I absolutely loved this film. So let's get right into the positives first, and let's start with the direction. Nia DaCosta absolutely tears this movie up with her incredible directing in this film. Her shot selection is so magnificent, being able to capture so many of the scariest, creepiest shots that I've seen all year. To be able to hide the Candyman in most frames of the film that I was not expecting, Nia DaCosta was able to throw in so many subtle, tiny details. Jordan Peele as a producer obviously was a big influence for this film, as at times it does feel like a Jordan Peele kind of film, but he was just helping with the film, and I think that Nia DaCosta needs to get the credit. My next positive with this film is the horror. I was terrified and on the edge of my seat the entire runtime, because this movie is able to use the characters, the story, the technical aspects to showcase the horror. There are plenty of kills in this movie, and there are some bloody, gruesome, almost Michael Myers type of kills in this movie that were absolutely fantastic and had amazing visual effects. They were planned appropriately and they were used effectively for the story, and at times we don't actually see some of the kills, which may be disappointing for some people, but I found them to be way more effective. My next positive is with the acting. There is not one bad performance in this film, as I think everyone gives it their entire all. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was the main star of the film, and he absolutely killed it. I also like to give a lot of credit to Teyonah Parris in the film, as I thought she was terrific, especially with the scenes with Abdul-Mateen II. They were absolutely fantastic together. Nathan Stewart Jarrett plays the comedic brother in the film that I thought he was so ridiculously funny with excellent delivery. Colman Domingo, who has been on fire lately with some of the movies that he's been in, he was so damn good in this movie, and it might be one of my favorite roles that he has done. My next positive with this film is the screenplay. Jordan Peele and Nia DaCosta were able to create this wonderful screenplay and be able to make every single character very relatable. Every single scene feels meticulously placed together in the sequence that it's in, and that is so impressive, especially for a horror film like this, because I was way more immersed into the film because I knew we weren't getting the fluff that many horror films provide us, especially in the mainstream cinema. I also enjoyed the exposition in this film. They did something very interesting with it as it went along, and it never felt annoying. It was different in the way it was presented, and it felt way more fresh and unique comparative to the other Candyman sequels that I was so annoyed when they had to explain the whole Candyman story again. The movie also goes back to what made the original Candyman film good and did it 5 times to 100 times better, and that is having many subtle and great ways of incorporating racial and social issues into this film. This is the entire backbone of the whole film, and it's in the original film, which I love, but this is being made and written by black filmmakers, so I feel like this movie was able to explore many of these themes in a more complex, artistic, and very interesting and stylistic way that kept me so much more engaged with the film and had something to say, and it felt like the Candyman aspect was deeper than just a guy killing people like we had seen in some of these sequels. It went back to its original roots, and it did everything so amazingly well and even better than the first film. I also found that the score is one of the best of the entire year. It was used so appropriately in this film. There were so many scenes that the music created the tension in itself, along with the amazing directing. The other technical aspects of this film are truly fantastic, as the cinematography is truly wonderful. This is one of the best looking films of the entire year, and I love the color palette that this movie has. I thought it looked so damn good, and the editing is fantastic, except one bad cut that's toward later in the film that a lot of people won't notice, but the editing as a whole was very cohesive, and it was very good. Now, let's get into the negative section of this review, and I want to talk about the structure of it. I really do feel like if I sat down and actually think about it like I am doing right now, I can kind of see that this movie is a bit predictable because there are many sections of this movie that go the way that you think it's going to go. I was very immersed into these characters and to the story, so maybe I didn't pick up on that, but now thinking about it now, I can see people thinking this is a very predictable film. So overall, guys, Candyman 2021 is an excellent, well-made horror film that I cannot wait to rewatch again. It is easily one of the best films of the entire year and probably gonna be the best horror film of the entire year. I hope you guys go out and support this film because it is one of the most terrifying, exciting, and really great horror films that you just need to see. I am giving Candyman 2021 a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I see you all in the following review.